What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, YouTube? K-Lump coming at you again on another video on a Tuesday. Tuesday? Dang, it's already Tuesday, about to be Wednesday. Okay, hump day coming. Y'all see who we got on the screen. Godfather, R.I.P., Kevin Samuels, the man. Sorry you had to go, brother. You was a good one. Let me get this ad off the screen. I always trying to BET, man. Don't do me like that, BET. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Kevin Samuels' death has been talked about. 57-year-old has been classified under natural causes. Samuels, let's go to E! News. 53-year-old cause of death has been attributed to hypertension, also known as high blood pressure, according to his autopsy obtained by E! News. The manner of his death has been ruled natural. Okay. Kevin passed away on May 5th after Atlanta Police Department were called to the residence and respond to a person injured. When they arrived, the officers noted first responders performing CPR on a man who was unresponsive and laying on the floor of his apartment. A woman at the residence then identified the victim as the YouTuber Kevin. Passing was confirmed by his mother, Beverly Samuels, to NBC News on May 6th. At the time, Beverly declined to release details of her son's death, but said that she found out the tragic news through social media. So, go back to Mr. Hypertension is what unfortunately took this man. He was doing great work. To me, Kevin wanted to figure out how to put men and women together for what you wanted, basically. Basically, to me, Kevin Samuels was an individual working to help you, the individual, go where you wanted to go and get what you wanted to get. If that, for women, if that was a high value man, he was giving you the game. For men, if it was a fit, friendly, cooperative, and submissive woman, he was giving you the game. And in reality, what he was really doing was he was exposing the nature of the woman and exposing the nature of the broke male, or the male who doesn't want to do anything, or he was exposing the nature of that, so that somebody who was serious about marriage wouldn't make a mistake and get with somebody who wasn't serious about marriage. And he was breaking down the way men and women should respond to each other, and why certain things happen in our, black people's community, why certain things happen. To me, he was breaking that down. And he was being effective at very effective at it. To me, to be effective at something, or to make change in something, let's talk about that. To make change in something, you have to ruffle feathers. Nothing happens without first ruffling feathers. If you're not making somebody mad and you're not ruffling no feathers, 9 times out of 10, the message ain't really getting across, right? So that's what he was great at. You can tell that he was well versed, well studied, of course, well mannered, well dressed, of course, and he didn't mind speaking his mind and saying what was on his mind, and he based it off stats and statistics. But a lot of things that Kev said came from other people, and that's interesting. A lot of people was mad at him for the leftover woman. A lot of people, he calling women leftover women, that this and that and this and that, and come to find out, the leftover woman idea actually came out of China. It's actually what China called ladies who weren't married over a certain age. They called them leftover women. And Kevin was just asking the question: here in America, do y'all consider these women leftover women? But of course, coming out of his mouth, it caused chaos. It caused an uproar. And people went in. And I think that was the goal. The goal the whole time was to make you look in the mirror. I'm going to just sit back on that one. Ooh, that was a tough one. To me, Kevin Samuels' show was putting a mirror up to the person he was talking to and saying, would you, with all of these issues, would you marry you? Men and women alike. When you break something down like that to somebody, you want a man who makes $200,000-300,000 a year. You want a man who does this, man who does that, man who does this. He went through it so strategically to show you that what you're dreaming about might not be possible for you, because these are the things that the people up here want, and this is what you bringing to this is what you bringing to the table. And by him breaking it down and making it, again, some people weren't receptive to his message. It's fine. But for those of us who were receptive to his message, it wasn't necessarily the message that we were receptive to. It was him holding accountable. I'm not dividing it between men and women, but it was holding people accountable for the things they say they want. If I say I want to live in $1 million house, and shout out to Anton Daniels, if I contact Anton and say, hey Anton, I want to live in $1 million house, and he say, well, let's see, Kev, you got know this, Kev, you don't do this, Kev, you don't do this, you need to do this and you don't do this. Now I'm mad at him. Well, man, no, man, I think I could do it, instead of listening to the person who can afford such a thing. Not saying Anton Daniels can afford $1 million house, but I'm just saying. So everybody wanted to attack Kev because they said, well, you had 2 failed marriages, so why should we take advice from you? Why should you take advice from the ex-drug user? They don't have any insight to give you? Anybody can give any insight on a topic. They don't have to, just because I'm talking about the destination doesn't mean that I actually have to be at the destination to talk about it, if that makes sense. I don't have to be married to tell people who want to be married how to get married. And that's why I feel I honestly feel he was a genuine person. I felt that he felt that this was true, and that's all that really matters. Some of the things he said, I didn't agree with some of the things he said, some of the talking points he made. But I understand the overall bigger picture was holding a mirror to people and saying, okay, dude, you say you want a woman who know how to cook, who can clean, who can take care of the house, who can rear the children. You say you want a woman to move on your page. You say you want a woman to do all these things for you. But what do you do? What do you bring? Do you provide provision for that woman? These are the messages that he wanted to get out so that people in the dating world wouldn't confuse things. You out in the world looking for a husband, yet you only messing with men who want to be side pieces and things like that. Same go for men. You in the world looking for a wife, but you on every dating app doing it. You're not taking it seriously, yet you saying you want it. Again, me, I can say, hey, I want $1 million house. Am I going to put in the work to go get the $1 million house? If I'm not going to put in the work, me continuously asking and saying, I'm going to do it, I want this, I want that, I want this, is just false dreams, and you're not going to get anywhere. So I believe that was the message. R.I.P. Mr. Samuels. Your message will live on, brother. Thank you for being who you were. For the time that we got to enjoy you and the time that we got to see you on this earth, you made an impact whether you know it or not. It is time for other people to pick up the ball, and it is time to keep moving in this direction of holding the mirror to oneself. Self-reflection is necessary in everything you do. If you don't believe it, you will never grow. And I have a saying, if you're not growing, you're dying. There is no in between with me. If you're not doing something to progress yourself to the next level, if you're not doing something to move your family forward, if you're not doing something to move your life in a positive, productive, financial situation, then at the end of the day, if you're standing still, literally you are dying. Every day you wake up is another day closer to death. We all know that. And a lot of people take their talents right to the grave with them. They take it right to the grave with them. Don't let your talents die in the grave. Bring them out for the world to visualize them. Every dream, everything starts in darkness. Starts in darkness, right here in your mind. It is up to you, the individual, to take it out of that mind. to get it out of there and make it visual for the world to see. We call those things possessions. Whether you buy the big house, the nice cars and all that, not talking about that necessarily. I'm talking about your vision of life, whether you starting a business, whether you got a job and you pulling a business out of that job to see if you can create, whether you YouTuber, whether you creating content, whether you got online companies that you running, regardless of what it is, even if you content and happy with working your job, coming home 9 to 5, you got your children there, your husband, your wife, everybody's living like, again, success across the board is different for everybody. It's different for everybody. Yeah, everybody got a number. Basically, I can say, hey, if I hit $1 million this year, I'm successful. But you know what? The person with 100 million is saying, no, you're not. But the person with 100,000 is saying, yes, I am. Different perspective, different views. It's like the number 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay? 6 plus 1 is 7. 8 minus 1 is 7. Okay? Different perspectives and different views that we all have, but we all trying to reach basically a success destination for what it looks like for us. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. RIP, my brother. You will be missed. Godfather. Peace.